What's up? What's up? We are back with another video. Before I get into it, let me know. You can link anything below that you want me to watch, and I will watch it, react to whatever. I'm also playing games. I'm playing Dead Space right now. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, other things. So subscribe if you want to subscribe and watch stuff like that. Let's get into it. Gaming is better for you than scrolling, from Super Joshua 06. This video looked really interesting, and I kind of agree with the thought of it in some points. So let's see what it's about.
Hey everybody, how's it
Let's see what
going?
it's
I'm
about.
sorry if I look a little bit tired. I have
You
just
look
been
very
tired all
tired.
day. I wanted to make
Tell me why. Tell me why he looks like Mr. Beast, like old Mr. Beast, before he got the veneers and all that. Tell me why. He's like he's like a Mr. Beast 1.0, low key, 0.1. I
a
don't know.
video kind of
That's just me?
expressing my thoughts on just how I think video games are much
Ooh,
more
goated.
fulfilling
Oh,
education.
I'm sorry, I'm pausing it so much. I'm pausing it so much. If you want to watch the video, you can watch it on your own. Okay, I want to start collecting because they're stopping to make the physical games. I used to have so many physical games, the PS3, Xbox 360 games. I want to start collecting now because they're stopping making them. They're so cool. So cool.
Honestly, just healthy for your brain when you compare it to other forms of modern entertainment like social media. Now, I'm not an expert on, the human brain or like psychology or anything, but in my experience, actually, I'm not going to say in my experience because it's more so in our generation's experience as a whole. Do you guys ever get free time, whether you just got off of work or something else, and you say to yourself, I'm ready to commit time to a video game? However, when you actually have that time, it feels so much easier to just go to your phone and scroll
it does.
on,
It does.
YouTube.
When I get home from work, I just want to lay in bed for at least an hour or two. I always say when I get home, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna start making a video. I'm gonna play a game. Then I get home. Okay, let me just scroll for a couple of minutes. I lay in bed, and end up scrolling for like 30, 40 minutes. I'm like, bro, what am I doing? That's literally just time down the drain. Literally, you're not getting that back. Unproductiveness. I need to get better about that.
YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. It feels so much easier to just mindlessly scroll on these platforms than to actually sink time and like commit to, a single player experience like Elden Ring, for example. It's just something that people don't really talk about.
Don't get me started on Elden Ring.
For the past couple of generations of gamers, our parents have been reinforcing this insane belief that video games are like, the cliche is always that they're rotting our brains, but in general,
a parent will say, "Oh, video games are rotting your brains. Well, you don't be playing video games all day," and yet they'll scroll on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Reels, Facebook videos for 3 hours a day. You play the game for 30 minutes, an hour, and they get mad. What? Double standards.
They're just like a bad habit.
Double
but honestly,
standards.
Nowadays, I can't really speak for back then, but nowadays, I find playing single-player commitment type games one of the healthiest hobbies, especially for our generation that, struggles with, pornography, drugs, and overall other addictions that are less like, not really considered addictions, but definitely are addictions, like music addiction and social media addiction. Like, our generation struggles with all that stuff. Like, basically every guy I know has at least one of those things. But if you really have like a huge...
It's so normalized. Like, everyone has a social media addiction. It's not... People don't even think it's an addiction because it's so normalized. People spend at least 3-4 hours a day on Instagram and all this, and I do too sometimes at some points, but I try not to. It's just bad. We're wasting so much time looking at other people's lives and all this. It's terrible. What have we come to?
Hobby for playing through like single player commitment games.
Facts, Mr. Beast.
What's really the flaws with that? In fact, I would honestly argue that having a deep fascination with gaming and playing through games as a hobby has way more upsides than downsides compared to a lot of other things that our generation does that I mentioned. For example, I myself, since, gaming is so fulfilling to me, I have zero interest in drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. Hookup culture, no interest in that. All of these things I mentioned are much more harmful to your...
He's not wrong. I don't know, like, without video games, I don't know what I would have been doing. Like in COVID, like what were girls doing if they weren't playing games? Like, I agree. People get bored, and that's why they do these other things. Without games, you're bored. That's why I love gaming too. I mean, bro, without games, you're going and doing drugs, doing all this stuff, bad activities, whatever you want to, however you want to perceive it. But that's facts. That is absolute facts. That's why you sit and enjoy a game instead.
physical and mental state compared to gaming. Yet
Facts.
gaming is the only one of those things that are considered nerdy. You know, you're a nerd if you like that stuff. You know, obviously there's still like warnings about alcoholism and drug addiction in the media. It's just, you know, you're not like a nerd or a geek if you do that stuff. But also, why does it feel so difficult to actually commit time to a game, even if we, you know, have the time to do so? You know, as
Yeah.
for myself,
True.
I am a full-time content creator on my main YouTube channel.
That's where I want to be. What's today? Today is July 28th, 2026. By next year, July 1st, I am speaking it into existence. I will be there. I will not be working my job anymore. I will be doing what I love instead, entertaining, trying to. That's my
So
goal.
I am very privileged to
Market.
have a lot of free time. And so I do
Market.
get to play through a lot of video games on the daily, but it still definitely does feel like work sometimes. You know, I could go like boot up a game for the first time on my PlayStation 2 and kind of like start to get into it, but it's just like I'm starting a commitment that is going to, it's going to be like in the back of my mind until I complete it. Whereas with social media, there's no like investment in it. You can just, you know, go on your phone, scroll for like 30 minutes, and
Makes
it's not
sense.
something you're obligated to really do. However,
sense.
here's the thing. The idea of there being no obligation is ironically what obligates you to keep doing it. Because our generation,
True.
and surely the next generation, will be basically trained to only want the most easily obtainable gratification and like
bad.
validation and just dopamine without actually like
our generation is cut, Gen Z. I can't even imagine the other generations after us.
putting anything into it. And look, this video is mostly about video games, but honestly, I have found that single player games feel a lot like reading books. Because if you really think about
In
it,
a
the
way,
time
in a way.
commitment from books compared to like single player RPG type games, it's pretty similar. And I think older generations have to stop this, you know, stigma of like single player games and, you know, just games in general as being like super unhealthy compared to other forms of media that are
Fair.
more like
People watch movies, people watch reality TV after work for hours and hours and hours. It's no difference than playing a game. No difference. The game is better. You're using your brain, you're problem solving, you're using critical thinking. With the movie, you're just watching a show. You're not even thinking, you're mindlessly watching
normalized in like the
Right or
rest
wrong,
of like
right
culture
or
across all
wrong.
generations. Single player games are almost as good for you as books in my personal, you know, experience. I know that's anecdotal, but you know, I'm not a psychiatrist or a, you know, expert
We know, Mr.
on
Beast.
the brain. So I mean, I'm not sure any
We've
of
seen
you
the
were
challenges.
going into this video expecting that, right? You know, these are just my opinions. It's just that I've learned so much about, you know, people, culture, puzzle solving when I play games like, you know, The Legend of Zelda or like Expedition 33 in terms of just story. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2, I've learned a lot about like exploring and
bro.
stuff.
Red Dead Redemption 2, absolute peak. You get like sucked into that game, bro. Absolute
And
peak.
honestly, I think that video games, when I really let a video game like immerse me and hold my attention, it feels so much more fulfilling than scrolling on social media.
True.
And look, I do understand why, you know, back in like the 80s and 90s, there was a little bit of a stigma towards video games because, you know, compared to other things back then, they were addictive. But the thing is, if you really just play video games the right way, they can be really healthy in my, you know, experience. I just think video games are maybe like the final frontier of entertainment that isn't really like just complete brain rot where, you know, every piece of them feels like it's just trying to
Fair.
like grab your attention by the neck and just never let go so that you just go down this like ever spinning hole of just dopamine. And I just think that, you know, if you like balance out like, you know, just playing through video games with, you know, basic
side note, in 10 years, 15 years, these boxes are going to be so nostalgic because they're just not making physical media anymore,
other stuff in your
physical
life,
games.
it can be such a fulfilling hobby. Now, of course, I have my preferences. I don't really play multiplayer games that much just because there's not really an end, and then I feel like I'm kind of just having the same experience over and over. And also, a lot of multiplayer games try to exploit you with battle passes and stuff, and just meant to just keep you hooked on the game. So because multiplayer games are kind of designed to be played endlessly, there's a lot of things about them that I think can kind of blur the lines between kind of just dystopian.
I love multiplayer games. I love competitive games. But I've had, like, the more I've grown up and the more I'm working a job and going to school and going to college, these things, it's harder to play. Harder to play these multiplayer games and stay on top. I can't play Apex, Valorant, and stay on top and play ranked 10 hours a day and keep up. It's hard to keep up.
They just try to keep
I'm
you
lost.
addicted. So
I'm
that is
lost.
personally why I prefer to mostly talk about single player games, because I think they just are way easier to maintain a healthy habit of. But again, if you play like a multiplayer game, like especially like competitively, that can still be very healthy, especially compared to social media. Anyway, so I think that video games and books are just the absolute best forms of fiction. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. You know, bring up some extra points. You know, I'm making videos like these because I want to hear what other people have to say. Because if I wanted you guys to just affirm all of my perspectives, then I'd just be talking into the void for just validation for no reason. So please let me know what you think.
Great
let me
video.
know if
I'm
you
gonna
have
comment down.
personally just found it really hard to commit to a game compared to just like scrolling on social media. My advice to you is just push through it, commit to fiction that's long term, like books and games. Trust me, it is worth it.
Look. You gotta comment more. Like, if you really do like video, comment. It's something I'm trying to do more. Comment more, like more, because it actually does help these people. I'm realizing it more. Great video.
It's not easy, but it is worth it. It's way more fulfilling to me. So yeah, I will see you guys.
Great video. I agree with a lot of the points. A lot of slop people are getting into. Coming home from work, they spend 3-4 hours on TikTok, Instagram. You do that for a week, months, years. You're spending years wasting your life away. Gaming is somewhat the same, some would argue, but at least, like I said, you're using problem solving, stuff like that. Let me know what you think below. It's a tricky subject, but I mean, to each their own. But you got to come to the realization yourself of what you would rather spend your time doing, with something a little bit productive, whatever's productive to you. Let me know what you think. Link any videos you want me to watch below. Subscribe, like, whatever. Do all that stuff that helps the channel. Comment. Appreciate you watching. Let me know what I should watch. Subscribe. Watch my other videos. Appreciate you. Let me know what games you want me to play, what games you want me to watch, and stuff like that.